There was literally like 10 cats that lived right here. These tiny little kittens, like a month ago, they were just in this wood. I'm the biggest clip nerd there is in the entire world. Make a cup of coffee, sit there, watch Bruce Irons' Goofy Foot. Or actually no, not even like always Bruce, but that was my most recent one that I watched, was Bruce Irons' Goofy Foot. Just you look at it in a different way. And I feel like so much of the stuff that we do, it's like, you just gotta be able to see it, or I don't know. I don't even know what I'm talking about, but. It's gonna be a riot. 3, 4. I do it every morning when I wake up in the morning. Little surf trip was just down to Lowers. I've been kind of trying to spend as much time down there as I can. Right here. Here it is. We're having a day, man. Sick. How are you? Yeah, man. Or sorry, when it's this big here, Lowers is like this big. To Australia, just around the Gold Coast. It was him and his family. And yeah, it was pretty insane just to, I think, spend time with him and his family and just see how much he loves being a dad, you know? He told me this thing that will always stick with me for the rest of my life. He's like, oh, every time I talk to people with kids, they're always talking about, oh, I have to go pick them up from school. I have to take them to the doctor's office. I have to take them to go eat or whatever. And he's like, I just switched it. He's like, now for me, he's like, as a dad, I say, I get to go take my kids to school. I get to go take them to dinner. Like, I get to take them to the doctor's office. And it was just a cool little perspective of like how much he loves being a dad. We like to know this, so come on, let's go. Oh yeah, all right. Open water, time to let us in. Come and get it, take it on the chin. Oh yeah, all right. 3, 4, 5. It's gonna be a riot. 3, 4, 5. It's gonna be a riot. Ryan Perry's house, but I don't think he's here. He's out fishing. The first time I ever met Ryan, as I'm breaking into his house, was randomly in the airport coming home from Cabo. Said I walked up to go say hi to him, or like he recognized us and I recognized him, just from surfing around town and stuff, you know, and said my eyes were so red that he like couldn't like just keep looking at my eyeballs and be like, oh, is this kid all right? And then whatever, I was kind of like, I was a pretty loud, obnoxious kid, you know, totally loud and obnoxious. He had to make a surf movie for Brooks Institute, like the college that he was going to. And he made this surf movie called Dream Job, and my brother and I were in it. And then pretty much like from then on out, he's filmed us. So that was like, I was probably 11, 25 now.
He almost broke my back last time. Honk on him.
Yeah. I only meant to push him, but he went flying into the metal part of his bed and collapsed.
Hardcore 1 day a week. To be in Fat Boy Surf Camp basically just means you like to eat food. Sometimes not the healthiest food. Tom Carey actually started it back in the day on a trip to Nicaragua with my brother and I. Surfing, sex, food. Like 3 things that I just am like all good for the rest of my life. There's a lot. Boom. The magic of all magic boards for me. I don't know, I had honestly never even had one until I was 22. And the second I got one, I was so mad at myself for not having one prior. I don't know, like at some point, it was like I didn't feel like I was having as much fun, and I just wanted a board that I knew I would have a bunch of fun on whenever I would paddle out on it. I brought it to Hawaii and was riding it quite a bit in Hawaii. Joel Tudor was surfing the sandbar with me one night and was like, dude, like I can't believe it took you that long to get a twin fin. It felt like it unlocked this crazy part of my surfing of just like having fun going fast and doing simple turns, you know? Like that was all it kind of brought it back to, was just this new simple way of looking at surfing for me. It would have been Alaska, our trip that we did. And it was pretty much like steadily outside my comfort zone the whole trip. From like the second we got there, it was just like, it's so on, like there's bald eagles everywhere. There was like, we chartered this flight actually. The most scared I've been in like recent history. And we were landing in a storm. And he ended up being like, oh, you guys, we're not gonna be able to land. We're gonna have to keep going on to the next airstrip. And, you know, I don't like flying as is, so I'm just like, oh my God. And then next thing I know, we're just going, and I ripped my headphones off and I literally thought we were crashing. Like I thought it was done. I was just like, oh, it's been good, you know, like, and I was literally like, I got off and I was just like shaking. I was like uncontrollably shaking. I was so freaked out. So that was the most scared I've been in a long time. My first trip had absolutely nothing to do with surfing. No, my first road trip was to Argentina. I didn't even bring a surfboard. There was a lot of things going on within the one trip, you know, like we showed up and we rode horses like miles back into the Patagonia mountains and like camped for a couple days outside of my own comfort zone, going to places that I don't know where they are half the time on a map. And that's obviously like a plus if we do get to surf, but being totally okay, content if I don't surf.
I lost it, just let it roll.
I was like all psyched that I learned it, but people have been doing it for like 20 years, so it's not that cool. But Aton's been kind of trying to help me learn like the shove it varial things, and I finally got one. It was like it was just off the regular air section, but I grabbed it backside and then did the varial and landed and spun around. And I've always been like so terrified to learn those because of all like part where your board's got to rotate, getting your fins flipped over and getting panoosed by your fin. So I haven't really tried too many of them, but I just finally stuck one. Yeah, we'll go check the table that I've been working on. It's kind of like my last fun project to be working on while there was no waves. But yeah, it was my girlfriend's birthday. I wanted to make her something. I didn't really want to just go buy her something. So many moments that have just like everything's gone wrong, but then we've kind of like saved it and revived it. Yeah, here it is. So this was just like a giant slab of cedar that we chainsawed. Gonna need 2 people to carry it up to her house for sure. She knows it's done, like she's seen it now. Her birthday was a little while ago, but the waves got really good, so the work got put on like the back burner. She saw it and like the presentation was solid, but I've been surfing a lot the last little bit. Okay. This is the toy of all toys. It's my favorite toy. That actually like doesn't get used enough, but we've been kind of trying to use it lately, doing like little tow-ats and stuff, and there's some fun missions you can go on like up north. So my brother always kind of tries to like claim he can't do airs.
I'm not an air guy, I'll make that clarification. 30 sections, I might do one.
He'll like, I'm sure people know. He's better at him than he leads on to be. And it's been pretty sick because we've been taking this thing in like summertime. It doesn't matter if the waves are waist high. If you got a ski, you could fly out a ramp going 100 miles an hour and get in the air. And so it's been pretty sick to like watch his progression from it, honestly. Like he's gotten more comfortable doing airs from doing kind of just tow-ats. And I don't know why people think it's so lame, you know, like people write off tow-ats and say it's stupid or whatever, but I'm claiming that if you want to practice, it's the best way you can practice doing airs, outside of maybe going to like Waco and stuff like that, so.